Welcome to the newest edition of TNInews with your host, JC. Action figure enthusiasts out there, JC here, and welcome to a Monday edition of TNInews. Now, don't mind my getup here. I'm just prepared for today's big solar eclipse event. You know, you can never be too prepared, I always say. But we've got a lot of news to cover today, including a lot of wrestling news. This past weekend, was the big Wrestlemania 40 event, kicking off the new era of wrestling with Triple H in charge. And it's been a long time since I've watched wrestling. I used to watch wrestling as a kid all the time, pretty much up through high school. When I went to college, I kind of quit watching for a while. But then when I got out of college and I started the websites, I started watching again, so I watched pretty heavily between, 97 and 2007. Then the whole Benoit thing happened, and it came pretty apparent to me that Vince McMahon was a big scumbag. Basically, he was making his wrestlers do things like take steroids and stuff, and I just kind of lost my taste for it. But now that Vince is out, I decided to give it another try this weekend, and I did watch WrestleMania. And I won't say it was the best WrestleMania I've ever seen, but I did think it was pretty good. Now, granted, again, being I haven't watched in years, many of these wrestlers are not ones that we're super invested in, but which is probably why maybe it wasn't quite as good for me as it was for other people. But still, even not having watched it in a long time, I thought it was pretty good. So, I'm probably going to keep watching at least for a little while. I'm not thrilled with the idea of people like Logan Paul, who's, been known to scam people with crypto scams, getting such huge pushes and stuff. But even though, I'll be honest, if I'm being completely honest, he does seem to make a pretty good heel type character, but still, it's just kind of hard to stomach. But, still, I think I am going to continue to watch for a little while, see where things go. And then, of course, this weekend, Mattel was on hand at WrestleMania, and they showed off a bunch of figures. I talked about some of these on Monday, but I've got additional stuff to talk about today. And then we have some Marvel Legend news, some McFarlane news. So again, we've got a full slate of stuff to go over. So let's just jump right in. Let's start off with Marvel Legend news. So last Friday, I told you how Dan Young had been teasing that there was going to be a pre-order for Marvel Legends this week, and he used the word classics. Now, I speculated perhaps it was going to be the Target store exclusive Carnage figure, mainly just because that was the only figure that Hasbro had revealed at the time that had not yet gone up for pre-order. But it was not Carnage. It was something entirely different. It is a Hasbro Pulse exclusive, and it is a new reveal. Well, kind of a new reveal. They had shown us previously, some renders for one of the figures in this 2-pack. So it is the classic Wasp figure along with a 6-inch Giant Man figure to go along with the HasLab Giant Man. So same deco and everything like that. It's just, essentially meant to be a shrunk down version of Giant Man, or a normal size version of Giant Man. So they are doing this 2-pack with the classic Wasp and the Giant Man as a Hasbro Pulse exclusive, which will be going up for pre-order tomorrow, which is April 9th. Even though in their video where they announced this, they actually had the date April 10th, but I think they just screwed that up. But the pre-order is tomorrow, Tuesday, April 9th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, this is going to be a Hasbro Pulse exclusive. This set has a number of accessories, primarily for Hank Pym. So you're going to get, first of all, a soft goods lab coat. Both figures have unmasked heads, so you get the masked head, and then you get an unmasked head for both Wasp and Hank Pym. So too bad they didn't give us an unmasked Hank Pym head for the actual HasLab Giant Man, but nevertheless, you do get one with the 6-inch figure. And then, again, with Hank Pym, you're going to get a soft goods lab coat. You're going to get various lab equipment, beakers, things like that, a control pad or a computer pad, whatever you want to call it. And then Wasp is going to have, again, the unmasked head, and then alternate hands, and then the removable wings. So there's 4 pieces for the wings, so you can either have her with just the 2 wings or all 4 wings. Again, those are removable on the Wasp figure. So no word yet on price for this 2-pack, but again, it is going up for pre-order tomorrow. And, if you didn't back the HasLab, but you want these figures, you can get them. If you did back the HasLab, then these are figures that you might want to get to go along with that. And of course, the downside here is you do have to, for those who back the HasLab, you will have to pay extra for these figures. But the upside here is if you decided not to back the HasLab, then you can still get these figures. And of course, had they included these two figures with the HasLab, then that likely would have just made the HasLab more expensive. So you can look at it that way as well. But as I say, tomorrow on Hasbro Pulse, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, if you want to add these to your collection, then you'll probably want to head over there and pre-order this set. Now, remember all those times where McFarlane Toys had been teasing a Spawn, Medieval Spawn Kickstarter? Last time they teased it was this past July at San Diego Comic-Con, and nothing ever came about it. Well, now Todd is launching a new Kickstarter, but not for that Spawn figure. This is a statue set. They're calling it the Drawing Board Crowdfund, and it features Spawn and Batman from the classic Spawn Batman crossover comic cover. So, not a lot of details at this point, but this is supposed to be launching on April 11th, which is Thursday. So we'll probably get more details like pricing and everything like that. But again, even though previously it teased doing a crowdfunding for that Medieval Spawn action figure, instead it looks like now we're going to get this Spawn Batman statue set. And when more details become available on it, I'll be sure to let you guys know. If you've been wanting to get your hands on that DC Multiverse Gold Label Wally West Flash figure, now's your chance because it is available on the Walmart website, at least as I'm filming this. And the cost of this figure is $22.99. All right, now let's delve into all the wrestling news from the weekend. So there was a lot. I talked about some of this on Friday, though I'm going to recap a few of the things I've already talked about. And just to note, a lot of this coverage, in fact, most of this coverage comes from Ringside Collectibles. They spent the weekend doing interviews with the folks at Mattel, Bill McKenna and Steve Ozer. So they did walkthroughs and things like that. So I'll put a link to their YouTube channel if you want to get a look at those videos. Of course, Ringside Collectibles is an actual retailer. They specialize in selling wrestling figures. They get a lot of Mattel exclusives. So if you want to do your shopping for wrestling, you might want to check out their website as well. But again, we had a lot of coverage. So let's just start off with those WWE Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle crossover figures that I talked about on Friday, just to reiterate them. So these are more wrestling than turtle figures. It's not the turtles dressing up as wrestlers, but the wrestlers dressing up as turtles. So with this, at least first wave, I'm sure there's a good chance we'll see more, but especially if they sell well. And I don't know if these are going to be store exclusives or general releases. I'm thinking general release, but I don't really know that for sure. But again, the first wave is going to include Kofi Kingston as Michelangelo, Seth frickin' Rollins as Leonardo, Xavier Woods as Donatello, Rey Mysterio as Raphael, Roman Reigns as Shredder, and Cody Rhodes as Casey Jones. So with more details, like when these will be available, if they're store exclusives, then where they'll be available, when those details do become available, I'll be sure to let you guys know. Now, Mattel held a panel this past weekend where they showed off a bunch of digital renders for upcoming figures. So I'm just going to go down the list of everything they showed during that panel, starting off with Elite Series number 112. So we are going to be getting the best of Bray Wyatt. So this was a figure they were originally going to do, but then got put on hold. It is now coming again in Elite Series 112. Seth Rollins in his Bray Wyatt tribute gear, Xavier Woods, Becky Lynch, the man, and that figure is going to have a Chase in the black outfit, JD. So that is your Elite Series 112. Then for Elite Series 113, the figures that they previewed were Carlito, which will have a Chase figure with purple trunks, and then Tiffany Stratton in her Barbie gear. So, of course, Mattel is going to do a figure of a wrestler wearing some type of Barbie gear. That's just common sense. Elite Series 114 is going to have Jay and Jimmy Uso. So, I guess you can recreate their battle at WrestleMania. For Elite Series 115, we are going to get Karai Sane, the final boss, The Rock, and R-Truth. For top picks in 2025 for Wave 2, we're going to be getting another Logan Paul figure. For Ultimate Edition Series 23, we are getting LA Knight, which I got to say, during WrestleMania was the first time I've ever seen LA Knight, and I was pretty impressed. I feel like he seems like a pretty interesting wrestler. So again, my first experience to him was this past weekend, but definitely a wrestler that kind of stood out. One of the newer wrestlers that, at least to me, that kind of stood out. We're also in that series getting Rey Mysterio in his Wrestle 39 getup and Dominic Mysterio in his WrestleMania 39 getup. They had a rematch of sorts this past weekend. I can't say, A, I understand why his son hates Ray so much, and then B, I can't say that Dominique impressed me too much. But nevertheless, from their match in last year's WrestleMania, we're getting figures in Series 23. Then for Ultimate Edition, Series 24, we're getting another Bray Wyatt figure from his Pitch Black match. And then for Ultimate Edition 25, we're getting Damian Priest, who is now a WWE champion. And he's going to have his Skeletor entrance gear. Again, kind of a no-brainer for Mattel to do that. And the Great Muta, so a classic character, getting the treatment in Ultimate Edition number 25. For your Ultimate Edition Target exclusive figures, we are going to be getting an American Dream Dusty Rhodes. And we got to see a prototype of that figure on display at WrestleMania. And that figure will have his signature birthmark sculpted on the torso of the figure under his outfit. So again, that figure is coming as a Target store exclusive. And then for ringside exclusives for Defining Moments, Kane, who is going to have from his Inferno match with a flaming arm. We're getting LA Knight again from his SummerSlam Battle Royale, Rob Van Dam from the WCW era, and CM Punk. So CM Punk was back and played a pretty decent role in the second night of WrestleMania. And speaking of CM Punk, that figure that was originally going to go up for pre-order during the Mattel Reveal live stream event went up yesterday. This is a Mattel Creations exclusive figure. The cost of it is $25. And last time I checked, it was still available on the Mattel Creations website. For those of you who collect the WWE vehicle stuff, we are getting the Lucha Lowrider vehicle, which will have working hydraulics. Going back to the Ultimate Collection, as another Ringside Collectibles exclusive, we're getting the Outsiders 2-pack with Kevin Nash and Scott Hall. I've talked about previously the figures that are going to be in Series 21 of the Ultimate Collection with Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and Cody Rhodes. Series 22 is going to have Gunther, John Cena, and Jey Uso. And then for Ultimate Collection Greatest Hits, we're getting The Rock and Batista. For Target exclusives, I talked about last week about Legends of WWE or WWE Legends Series 23 with Real American Music Video Hulk Hogan, 3-minute warning of Rosie and Jamal, and Big Bubba Rogers, which has the white and the blue shirt variant. Series 24 is going to include Jim the Anvil Neidhart in his taxi cab gear or post Hart Foundation gear, Hulk Hogan from WrestleMania 8, Farouk, and a Farouk post-Nation Chase figure, and it's true Kurt Angle, wearing that t-shirt that says it's true. So that's Series 24 for the Target exclusives. For Target Ultimate Legends, we've got Yokozuna, which should be hitting stores now. We've got the Undertaker figure, which I talked about last week. Following Undertaker will be Big Van Vader, and he will have a Chase figure. And then Dusty Rhodes, that Dusty Rhodes figure will round out the Target Ultimate Legends that we know of up until this point. And again, it'll have the birthmark that is actually sculpted on the torso. A bunch of main event series figures, which was, previously just known as basic figures. So these cost a little over $12. I'm not going to go over all of these, but one of note was the You Can't See Me John Cena Chase figure, which is done with translucent plastic, so that literally you can't see him. So that figure is coming. For the Monday Night Raw series, they had on display their Kurt Hennig figure, Rey Mysterio, The Rock, Teddy Long, which will be a Build-A-Figure, Nitro, Kevin Nash, Harlem Heat, so the tag team Harlem Heat, and they will have Chase versions, Big Boss Man, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Diamond Dallas Page, and he will have a Chase version as well, Kane, or Diesel I should say, Rob Van Dam, another Triple H figure, The Disciple, which will be a Build-A-Figure, and another Commissioner Shawn Michaels wearing the turtleneck, which will also be a Build-A-Figure. For Monday Night War Ultimates, we'll be getting a WCW version of Eddie Guerrero and Mankind with the WWE Championship belt. There's going to be Elite Series 2-packs, a return of 2-packs. So Imperium, we're getting them, the Headbangers, Mosh and Thrasher, and the Dudley Boys. So new Dudley Boy figures. So again, Elite Series 2-packs are coming back. And then for Elite Series 111, we're going to be seeing the Sandman, Trish Stratus, with her recent return last year, Ricochet, Tony D'Angelo, Finn Balor, and another Cody Rhodes figure. And Cody Rhodes is going to be getting a suited figure in the Elite Series. He'll be included in Elite Series 109. For the Walmart WWE Superstars line, we're getting Kurt Angle, Big Boss Man, Tanaka, Kane with an entrance cape that he never actually wore, Razor Ramon, and Brutus the Barber Beefcake. For WWE Retros, so they showed some of these off in their live stream during that revealed event, the Shawn Michaels, the British Bulldog, Isaac Yankem, and Blaze. But during this weekend, they also teased a Brother Love figure coming to this line, though they didn't say exactly how it was going to be released. Okay, so that's all I have for you guys today. As always, I'd love to hear your thoughts on everything I talked about down in the comments section below. There were a lot of WWE reveals this weekend. It was a big weekend overall for WWE. It's the new era kicked off by Triple H. Vince McMahon's out. Triple H is in. And of course, obviously Triple H isn't the only person making decisions here. But again, I have a lot of faith in him. I was pretty impressed with what I saw this weekend. Stephanie McMahon is coming back as well, it seems like. So I think that'll be cool. I'll be tuning into Raw this evening, so we'll see what happens from there. But again, as always, I'd love to hear your thoughts on everything I talked about down in the comments section below. Like this video if you're so inclined. It does help with the algorithm. If you'd like to further support this channel by becoming an action figure enthusiast channel member, there's a link to details on how you can do that down in the video description. If you're new to the channel, please think about subscribing and hitting the bell notification so you're alerted every time I upload a new video. As always, guys, stay safe out there. Don't look up directly at the sun. And until next time, I'll catch you later. Thanks for watching today's video. Now, if you're new to the channel, please think about hitting that subscribe button. Also, hit the bell notification so you're alerted every time I upload a new video. For all the latest action figure news, be sure to head over to ToyNewsEye.com, MarvelousNews.com, JediInsider.com, and TFormers.com. And remember, action figures are great,